Great to see you, man. Ben, how you doing, man? How's everybody doing? Hey, guys. How are you? Good to see you, buddy. How are you? Look very sharp.
You just raise your hand, ask a question. We've got some hand holders in here.
Pat, you brought in arguably the best class last summer. What you've seen so far of them, how they adjusted,
So far, they're working hard. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of pressure on these young kids because of that being the best class that we brought in so far. But they're working hard. They're into our culture. They're listening to our veterans. They're competing at a high level. They're making mistakes, and they're being coachable, which is critical. They want to be coached. They want to get better. And they want to help this team be successful. I mean, Josh is everything that you've read about or wrote about, and then some. Mike is everything that you thought he was, just an incredible athlete that's blocking shots and rebounding and owning the glass. And Davis just drills threes out of nowhere. And it's fun to watch and to see. They have a long way to go, a long way to go. But so far, their attitude's been great, their approach has been great, and they have to continue that to see minutes.
Hey.
Hey, Ben, how you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Is Josh a day one point guy for you? Are you going to ride that out, or are you just going to wait and see how this little chunk of practice goes?
What do you mean?
Like, do you plan on starting him even headed into
Okay,
practice?
you said points. I don't know if you had him at the point guard. Josh has got to earn it. You know, I've never said to a recruit, and I never will say you're going to start if you come here. And I think Josh respects that. I think the team respects that. Josh has got to go out and take it. Now, he's done very well, and he's been here both summer sessions, which has definitely put him ahead. During the summer preseason, it's definitely helped. He's put on weight. He looks terrific. But he has to earn it every single day, just like Shep Garner does, just like Brandon Taylor does, just like Jordan Dickerson does. You know, we're going to put the best guys out there, and the guys are going to play quality minutes. They got to earn it every single day, and that's going to put us in the best position to be successful.
With the guards that you lost, do you see a go-to guy, a go-to scorer among your guards that you have back? Is it Shep? Is it someone else?
You know, I obviously Shep has proved himself last year to be very capable of being that go-to guy or that scorer for us in the backcourt. But I think our front court's going to be really strong this year with Brandon Taylor, Jordan Dickerson, Donovan Jack, Julian Moore, Mike Watkins. I think those guys are going to help tremendously and take a lot of pressure off of our guards. But I think Shep will rise to that occasion. I think Josh will rise to that occasion. I think Peyton Banks is ready to step up to give us significant minutes. I think Devin Foster, it takes a little while to really understand this level and what's expected. I think Devin Foster's ready to take some of the reins there. It's going to be a fun team to watch. God bless. It's going to be a fun team to watch because we don't have that predominant DJ or Tim Frazier or Taylor Battle. So we're really going to have to share the ball, which is exciting for me as we prepare to start our season tomorrow.
Mike Watkins, it seemed like, at least when he initially got recruited, that he was more of a project guy based on his size and sort of athleticism. Do you see him that way, or is he a guy that can contribute right away with the sorts of things that you need?
You know, it's a good question. He definitely has a long way to go. I shouldn't say a long way to go, but he definitely has some development still to as we progress here in the preseason and into our first game and into the Big Ten. There's one thing that he does. He competes and he rebounds. He has a nose for the basketball like I've never seen before. And he's a heck of a shot blocker. If you can do those things and you can anchor our defense and you can own the paint, well, you have a chance to play some significant minutes. We lost Ross Travis. You know, he was our third leading rebounder in the history of Penn State basketball. So we have to make up those rebounds, and it's going to be by committee. But You guys know how I run my practices. Whoever's going to defend, whoever's going to rebound, is going to give us the best chance for success. They're going to be on the floor.
When it comes to getting some more offense out of your bigs, there's things you can do to run more stuff for them. But what have those guys, a couple of those guys, done to improve their individual games so when they do get the ball, they can score in different ways this year?
They had great summers. They were here summer session 1 and summer session 2. They've all reshaped their bodies. They're in excellent condition. Our strength coach, Brandon Spade, has done a phenomenal job with them. But it takes them, too, to really want to be in that type of shape and transform their bodies, and they've done that. We ask our bigs between 8 and 12% body fat, and they're all right there. As a matter of fact, Jordan Dickerson's he's below 7%, which is like, why are you bringing up body fat? Well, do you have reserve? Can you play 30 minutes? Can you be effective in that 30 minutes? Are you going to run out of gas? Are you going to be low in the tank? So I think those guys have really developed their bodies and their minds. They're mentally tougher than they were a year ago or the prior years, and we've worked on their skill. Our player development this summer was by far the best since I've been here. Just working on the simple aspects of the game, basic footwork, basic finishes, little things that I think will help them make major contributions as the season starts here.
Coach, you mentioned the loss of the veterans, Ross Travis and DJ Newbill. With such a young backcourt, have there been any veterans that have stepped up that you've noticed with particular leadership so far?
We formed a leadership council. It's really been very effective. We started it a couple years ago, but this year it's Brandon Taylor, Shep Garner, Donovan Jack, Devin Foster, and Josh Reeves. So we have some veterans in there with some youth. Maybe kind of bring those guys along to teach them what it's all about. And as a whole, those 5 guys have really led and really taken ownership of the locker room, of the workouts, of the weight room, of the sand pits, of the hills, whatever we may be doing. And they're holding each other accountable, really getting after each other in a positive way, but pushing each other and adding the one more and just telling these guys, like, you know, let's really do something special this year. Let's build off of last year's optimistic finish and let's do something special because we have the talent to do it, but we all have to buy in. So those 5 guys, and including Peyton Banks and Jordan Dickerson, have really stepped up and led in a very vocal way. Because we're all looking for that one guy, right? We're all looking for the Tim Frazier and the DJ Newbill. And work to some degree, but I think when you have more guys that are taking ownership and really into this program and our culture and what we're trying to do, it only helps the locker room. It only helps practice and everything that we do.
Pat, you just mentioned, right here in the back, you just mentioned that you feel like you have the talent to do it this year. Speaking to yourself, you know, coaching in college basketball is maybe they get the most credit of anybody in any sport. Do you feel like you have 4 years in now, maybe more of a tactical advantage in the Big Ten? Big Ten record's still kind of a struggle for you guys 4 years in?
Oh, good question. You know, it's about our players. It's about our approach. It's about, you know, doing things a little bit differently every year with the talent that you have. Every year we've tailored, you know, what we've done offensively, defensively to the players that we have. I always want to put our players in the best position possible to be successful. Yeah, you know, I know what Michigan State's going to do. Yes, I know what Wisconsin's going to do, and that might give us a little bit of an advantage. But I think we're older with 4 seniors, a little bit wiser with a good mix of youth. I think that helps you on the road where we only won 1. You know, that late game last year at Minnesota. You know, the road in the Big Ten is very difficult. But I definitely think there are some advantages knowing what other guys are going to do in particular situations. But I think it's really about the players and how they're going to be more comfortable, especially with 4 seniors being able to teach these guys what it's all about to play in the Big Ten and how to be successful.
Coach, you mentioned Shep a little bit. Coming off playing a lot last year in his first season, how much better can he be? What do you expect from him with that experience going into his second year?
Yeah, I expect Shep to be a leader. You know, he's part of that leadership council. I expect Shep to be more consistent. He's done that so far in summer session 1, summer session 2, and in the preseason so far. So I'm looking for a Shep Garner that's going to come out and really learn from the experiences from last year, learn from the positives where he had 19 against Nebraska, and learn from some of the setbacks that I think in his situation will help him in his sophomore year. Again, he can help Josh Reeves. He started every game last year and played significant minutes, so he knows what it's all about. He knows what the Big Ten's all about. So we got to tap into his leadership. But I think most importantly for me and him that we stay attached at the hip, and he brings a consistent effort every single game. Whether he's making threes or not, he's got to be real consistent for us.
Pat, I think everyone knows what the foundation identity of the program is. When you look at offensively without DJ, you touched on some of this a little bit earlier. What do you want the identity of the basketball team offensively to be?
You know, we're going to share the ball a lot more. I think if I can draw upon, again, the late season run that we had, where we had 4 guys close to double figures, and you weren't relying on DJ's 20 every night to put you in position to win in the last 2 minutes of a game. If we can share the ball and just really mix it up and put pressure on the paint and have a great inside-out type of team, I think that's going to help everybody. It's going to loosen up things for Shep. It's going to loosen up things for Brandon Taylor. It's going to give our bigs more opportunity to score, which equals getting to the free throw line much more. Again, doing the little things, taking care of the basketball. But I think a team with a lot more balance is something that we're going to strive for. And we already started that in the summer, striving for balance, everybody getting touches, working the ball side to side, and, just being unselfish. And yeah, the leading scorer is going to emerge at some point. I'm not going to tell you who the lead, because I don't know yet. But that excites me that we have enough guys that can put the ball in the basket to be able to share the basketball and do different things on the offensive end. Now, I'll go back to the original statement. You know what our identity is. Our offense has to come from our defense. So if Jordan Dickerson is going to be one of the best shot blockers in the history of Penn State, which he has a chance to be, he's going to lead us in some incredible breaks. We're going to have great opportunities to get down the floor and get some easy ones and some open threes.
Pat and Nate talked about the quality of freshmen that you brought in. Obviously, it sounds like November is going to be a big early part of the month for you. Can you talk about how you've been able to build up the whole recruiting thing and how vital that is to getting this program to where you need it to be? Yeah, Mark. It's been a long process, as you know, and we're headed into year 5, and it hasn't been like, get these great recruits overnight, I should say. It's taken time, and we want to do something that's built to last and something that's real consistent. And we're excited about our future. We're excited about 2015. We're excited about 2016, even though that's out in the distance. But a lot of the credit goes to our staff and our players who've done a very good job of believing in the vision that we have for this program and trying to do something that this place has never seen before or has ever accomplished before. But it's always about the players. And I think Shep and DJ before him and Tim before that have really set this program up for success for the future, for the long haul. You said it's never really been done here. What's the difference now? I just think the quality of player that we're getting and the kids that we're getting. And we're not afraid to go in some different areas and try to battle some of the better programs in the country. And I've heard plenty of no's, Mark, plenty, more than I'd like to share. And then it's nice to finally hear some yeses. But it's taken a long time to get to those yeses. And obviously Josh Reeves really helped. Obviously Shep Garner, that helped. Mike, that helped. And now kids find us a viable option to be able to come here, to be able to do something special that they haven't seen before.
You touched on Jordan Dickerson's shot blocking prowess, and Mike Watkins is a strong shot blocker as well. Do you envision lineups with the two of them together to spark that offense?
It's not. We're going to place a lot of different lineups. That's the luxury we have this year. We have some small lineups that are already put in place. We have some much bigger lineups that are already put in place. Tinkering with Brandon Taylor on the wing, Julian at the 4, Jordan at the 5, Donovan at the 4, Jordan at the 5, Mike at the 5. I don't know if I can say right now I can play Mike and Jordan together. But we're definitely going to play some really big lineups that I think will benefit us as we approach, the non-conference in the Big Ten.
Pat, what was the experience like with the USA Basketball Fantasy Camp and having coaches like Calipari and Jamie Dixon, Lon Kruger out there. What was that experience like?
I tell you what, it was awesome to be able to sit there and kind of talk basketball with Mike Fratello and PJ Carlissimo and Billy Raftery and Matt Painter, and because you don't get to see, we don't get when we're coaches, we don't get to have that kind of downtime or talk to each other about basketball unless you're invited to a think tank. But man, I really enjoyed it. And then we were able to go to USA Minicamp and watch Coach K run his practices and Boeheim be there and Tibbs be there and all the pros be there, and just to be part of what Sean Ford's doing for USA Basketball. What a great experience those 4.5 days were. And I absolutely tapped into some of these NBA guys and some of these proven coaches that have had a lot of success and some failure to see why, what they did well and what they didn't do well, and what would they go back and change. So it was a really good summer for me as a coach to get myself better to prepare for this season.
Was there one sort of thing that resonated with you more than anything else?
Just spending time with Mike Fratello about, what really is important and what's not really important. And sometimes we let the little things that are not really that important really bother us, and that'll affect us for a long time, where it needs to be, it happened, and we just got to move on, and we got to focus on something that's really going to affect the team in a much bigger picture type way. Ben, that was very nice. Share. We just talked about sharing the ball. Ben, nice. Thank you.
That actually folds right into my question. You talked about sharing the ball, getting it side to side. Does the 30-second shot clock affect stuff you run, affects guys making an extra pass, which I know you like to encourage? How much thought has been given to that just for this team?
Yeah, you know what we've done since the summer? We've been working with a 20-second shot clock. I feel like a lot of teams are going to give some token pressure this year, maybe play a little bit more zone this year. So we've been challenging our guys to play at our pace and not to panic, and to get the best available shot. Uncontested, open shot usually gives you better percentages. So I know it's 5 seconds, and everybody's freaking out a little bit about the 5 second. I still think we're going to play, the way we played the past couple of years, but this year we definitely want to share it a little bit more. And it's okay to get under the 5 second, and it's okay to make one extra pass and take an in-rhythm jumper, or at least shot fake and try to get us to the free throw line. I think it's just about slowing us down, playing at our pace, and a little bit of patience.
Brandon's always been a kid with a little bit of a quick trigger, maybe. How have you seen him kind of evolve, maybe since the end of last year to now, and is he giving it up a little bit more?
So, let me explain the quick trigger, right? So last year we all were going crazy on Shep when he was shooting from the 609 area code, and for you Jersey people, and Brandon Taylor, he probably in your mind took some ill-advised shots. I want my guys on offense to play with the ultimate confidence. And I know if they're playing with the ultimate confidence and they think that's the best shot and they feel like they can make that shot, well, I got to let them shoot it. Now, don't get me wrong. I reeled Shep in a little bit towards the end of the year. Like, it might not be the best shot for us. But I still want them to have the ultimate confidence. Brandon Taylor has had a great summer. He's had a great preseason. He's worked really hard on his shot. He's worked really hard on mixing it up, just showing what an arsenal he does have. I think I'd like to see Brandon get to the free throw line a lot more this year, and I think he's working on it. Yes, he's being unselfish, especially when I play him on the wing. He's starting to make plays for others. He's starting to take care of the basketball. I think Brandon's really going to become a complete player for us. Now that we're going to move him around a little bit, he is going to be a major mismatch. I play him on the wing, and he's going to be playing against a smaller guard. We got to take advantage of that. I play him on the floor. He's going to be playing against a bigger forward. We got to take advantage of that. So we're going to put him in the best position possible to be successful, and I think he's mentally ready for it, and he's prepared.
Got 2 assists, so that's all that matters.
That's your day. That's your added 2 points, Ben.
Josh is a guy who comes in here with a lot of hype so to speak, and you talked him up a little bit already. How do you manage that from a freshman perspective, from a player perspective, and from a guy who really, people expect big things from really early in his career?
Yeah, you know what? It's a good question, and we've talked about this. It's got to be humble and hungry. Don't hit the ball, run the third. Just be patient. We're going to be patient with you. You're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. It's going to be a learning process. We're going to develop. We're going to watch film. We're going to get you better, but you're going to have some. It's going to be a little bit freshman year. It's going to be a little bit rocky. It's going to be up. It's going to be down. Just try to be as consistent as you can be every single day and be extremely coachable. And don't listen to the noise. Don't listen to the distractions on the outside. Just we'll meet as often as we can, and we'll help you along your journey your freshman year. And yeah, it's tough. That type of pressure is tough on anybody. But we'll help him through it. And he's got such a good way about him. He's so level-headed. He'd rather get a rebound. He'd rather make an extra pass than shoot the ball. And for that, it just shows his selflessness.
And you mentioned Jordan a little bit ago. He seems like a guy who's had a good offseason physically and practice-wise. What do you see from him in terms of what he's able to do to bring his game to whatever that next level is?
I think what you saw if you guys recall the last 6 to 8, maybe you don't, it's very fresh in my mind. He was dominant the last 6 to 8 games of the season. And I thought he was the real reason we gave ourselves a chance to beat Iowa here in overtime. And he gave us a chance that he has a big dunk in Minnesota, and he plays real well against Nebraska and real well against Iowa. And he battled A.J. Hammonds, every step of the way in that final game. Foul trouble just, took him to the bench. But I see a dominant force who's going to own the paint and be one of the best shot blockers, not in just the Big Ten, in the country. And I think he's going to he wants to be that anchor. He wants to be that type of player that's going to block shots, run the floor, defend, and rebound for us. And we need that. We need that from him because that's easy baskets for us on the other end.
Pet, over here. We hear a lot across the street about recruiting pitches and selling things. Building off Mark's question a little bit, could you just kind of take me through what is your pitch, because it seems like it's working?
Wow. I wouldn't say it's a pitch. I would rather say it's an opportunity. I know everybody's like, oh, what a salesman. It's an opportunity. I think Penn State sells itself with the administration that we have. Again, the direction that we're going in, it shows what a great university this is and what a great athletic department we have. I have most of my recruits meet Sandy, and recently I've had them meet Dr. Barron. So it's all of us doing it together. It's not just me. It's not just our staff. It's all of us. It's the players. The players are probably better recruiters than I am. And I think that's what our push is. That's the opportunity that we're providing or showing. And then when we bring them here on a football Saturday, it's the fans, it's the alum. They're showing their passion, their pride for what Penn State's all about. And who wouldn't want to be a part of that? To me, it's a no-brainer. But there's a lot of other programs out there who will disagree with that. But that's been our method or our game plan when it comes to recruiting. We're trying to get the best players that can compete in the Big Ten, but also fit the Penn State way. You have to want to get your degree. That's number one. And then you got to be as competitive as we all are to be successful. And socially, you got to make the right choices. It's really a simple formula, but we believe in it. And, fortunately, we've heard some yeses recently. But it takes everybody that's a part of Penn State to make it happen, to get that yes.
How important is it that you now have the luxury of redshirting guys like Isaiah Washington rather than forcing them in the lineup before they're ready?
Wow. I don't know if it's a luxury. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a full deck of cards because things happen. Things have people get hurt. Julian Moore was sick last year where he was out for 2 weeks, lost 20 pounds. So I think where we're headed and the team that we have currently, it gives us a lot of options. It definitely gives us different lineups that we can put out there. In Isaiah's case, he was a medical redshirt, and I think he's learned a lot in his year being out. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten better. He's gotten wiser. He's become a leader. He has a voice in the locker room. So in that way, for guys to mature and really understand what this level is all about, that definitely helps, and it definitely helped in his situation. Almost snuck out.
Pat, you guys have had a lot of really close games last year, and you started to win a couple of those at the end. How tough is it, especially for a young team, to learn how to win those close games?
You know what? I read so many books this summer. I've been with so many great coaches and leaders over the last 6 months. And the best way to learn how to win is failure. And we failed 13 times last year under, average of 5 points. And we're so close to making those game-winning plays. But we have to go through those in order to get better, in order to realize that we can win those close games. And, it falls on my shoulders first. I got to go back and dissect everything that I did in the last 4 minutes or throughout the whole game. And then they got to look at it and see what are the things that we need to do to get better. And we're doing that, and we're doing that moving forward. And we're working on end-of-game situations moving forward starting tomorrow more than we ever will to prepare us, again, to be ready for anything. So I think you got to go through some of those tough losses to be able to – I think that's why you win Minnesota. I think that's why you win Nebraska. I think that's why Ross Travis makes the layup to beat Iowa. You got to go through some of those tough defeats to be able to get some of those wins.
Pat, you mentioned the fan base in Beaver Stadium with football fans, but with basketball fans now with free non-conference games and the series in Rec Hall, what do you expect out of Penn State basketball fans this year?
Hey, we were number 5, right? Number 5 in growth of attendance. Is that correct? Did I say that right? Which is exciting. So now that attendance is going to be free, I expect that to be even higher this year. I hope they'll come out. We're going back to rec. I think that's an exciting time for not just the current students to get a sense of what it was like back in the day, but also the alumni and fans from that time to come back and enjoy in that experience. It's an incredible experience. But I'm hoping, we just left a staff meeting. Season ticket sales is up. Things are looking really good. I want those students here. I want those students in the game because they can give this that extra edge in the last 2 minutes of a game. They can affect a free throw. They can affect how a team plays if we come out in droves and really give us that home court advantage, which will be exciting. Which leads me to, we're going to have a blue-white scrimmage Saturday, October 24th. We're going to change it up a little bit. It's going to be in Altoona. We're going to take it to the Altoona Fieldhouse. It's going to start at 1, free admissions, and it'll be meet and greet and some autographs. So we're just, again, trying to move the needle, trying to do some different things, trying to move locations where everybody can come out and be a part of Penn State basketball.
Hey, Pat, sort of here in the middle here. Tying into recruiting a little bit, your team recently volunteered at Center County United Way Day of Caring. Where does community and university engagement fit in with your recruiting pitch, and why is that something that you emphasize with the guys?
Yeah, you know what? It's right up there. It's probably after talking about our great reputation, our academics, we talk community service. We're blessed, right? We're blessed. It's a privilege to come to Penn State. It's an honor to play in the Big Ten. So, and you're coming to school with a full scholarship. So you've been blessed with all these amazing talents. So let's go out and let's affect people's lives. Let's put smiles on children's faces. Or let's go and help the needy or the sick, or read, or a clothing drive, or fight cancer, or Alzheimer's, or the Buddy Walk, and Special Olympics, and I can go on and on and on. But I think it's important for us to recognize our place where we are and to give back. And the recruits know if you come to Penn State and you're part of this program, we're going to be out in the community and we're going to help. We're going to be a part of the fabric of this community for a long time, and that's never going to change.
Pat, another one of those guys you talked to over the summer. Now you bring up Altoona, Doug West, who's going to be coaching at Penn State Altoona. What what were some of the conversations you had like with him and him starting out his coaching career down there?
Yeah, he's a great friend of mine. We worked together, obviously. We went to a Final Four together, and I was so excited to see him, land that job because that's where he's from and that's home for him. And he's been up a few times already. It's great. I go back to year one about how you're going to build a program, how you're going to start a program, the players that you need, your mission, your core values, the culture that you want. I think every coach is different, but the culture that you want to you shape your program or shape your team. So he's been great. He was here just last week, and him and I are going over some different plays that he ran at Minnesota with the T-Wolves. And, I mean, he was an NBA player for quite a long time, so we were going back and forth on some stuff. So it's great to bounce some things off of him and see how he's doing and how he's going to run his program, and then, just to share some offensive sets and things like that. So it's been great. And he'll be a big part of that day. He'll be there with his team, so it'll be a lot of fun. Let's go. Thank you, everybody. Let's have a great year.